Jamar Perkins. It's crunch time. It's crunch time here live at the studios of Austin Peay. Zach Pew alongside Jamar Perkins. Jamar, it's great to see you. I'm going to go ahead and get straight into how was your weekend. Obviously, no Reese Britt because he's hitting the golf links today, so we don't have him this week.
Respect it, man. But no, good weekend, too. I wanted to say something, too. I wanted to tell everybody. I discovered Latin music yesterday. I never listened to it, and I actually like it. So, new music genre just kind of picked that up. But
all right.
Yeah.
Some
J
Latin.
Balvin. Yeah, J Balvin. I think this
pretty
clean stuff. Not gonna lie. But no, how was your weekend, Zach?
Man, my weekend was good. Other than I'm coming over a little bit of a sickness, so I'm happy to be happy to not. Yeah, no, not that kind of sickness. But a small little stomach bug that seems to be floating around. But other than that, it was a good little weekend.
Yeah.
I want to jump in straight into this show this week, man. College baseball. I just want to recap real fast. The Austin Peay State Governors got their first series win over the weekend against Boston College. They are currently 2-1 at home and 0-1 and away after playing an exhibition game as well. But you got a little bit more about that Boston College game.
So Saturday, right? You know they lost the first day, Friday. And then you turn around Saturday. They were down by 8 runs, came back and won that one, and then transitioned into the Sunday game. They were down by 10 runs. Came back and won that one. So really just the comeback kids, this is a good story to start the week. Great opening weekend for them. I want to talk the last game did end in the 8th inning because there was like a deadline for the game because the Boston College had to catch their flight. So they ended up ending at the 8th inning. But, I mean, we still ended up winning in the 8th inning, and I think with the momentum we would have still won the game. But it was super fun. They did just lose to Southern Illinois, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah, that was their exhibition game. They're 0-1 away game now.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, as far as being at home, and they really performed, and I think it's exciting for Clarksville.
And it takes some time, obviously, to get standings and overall rankings from them right now. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to have rankings this week for college baseball, but a great way to see the Governors get their first series win. They might have lost that exhibition, but it happens. Yeah. But could you imagine in Major League Baseball going, hey, we got to catch our flight. We can only play 8 innings. That would never happen. It would never fly. So it's interesting to see that. But moving over to college basketball, going to give you the top 10 right now. Excuse me, sorry. The top 10 right now of standings. Gonzaga 23-2, sitting at number 1. Arizona number 2 at 24-2. Auburn 24-3. Purdue 24-4. Kansas 23-4. Kentucky 22-5. Duke 23-4. Villanova 21-7. Texas Tech at 9th. Being 22-6, and Baylor rounding out the top 10 of 23-5. A couple of movements. Kentucky falls out of the top 5 after losing to Tennessee and a rough game against Tennessee. Yeah. And I believe another rough game. I don't think they lost anymore, but still losing to Tennessee brought them down a little bit. Actually, right next to Duke, who came up from the number 9 spot. After being 9 for like the last 2 weeks, they're finally 7th. So Coach K coming back up now.
Hey, I mean, which we thought they would do. I mean, Duke is one of those teams where you can't just count them out because of the beginning. Honestly, you can't even count them out now at the 7th seed.
Right.
Looking at this top 10, man, I'm like, I kind of look at the top 25 standings and all that, but I'm like, man, I'm not believing any of this. As far as I think the number 1 is going to win the championship because this is anybody can get beat kind of season.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk about, too, I know you mentioned some of the creeper teams out there. Tennessee is 17th, Arkansas is 18th, and Murray State is 19th. But
look at the Racers, 19th after being 21st last week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man.
They're a good team.
Murray State's a good team. They are. I think they're definitely gonna be capable of winning. As far as in the tournament, but I also like to. I really don't want them to win. And obviously, I want Austin Peay to win. But even if Austin Peay doesn't win and someone else were to win, it would be nice to see 2 teams from the OVC represented. Because I think if Murray State doesn't win the tournament championship, they're still going to get a bid in the tournament.
I don't think Murray's got to win the OVC tournament in order to make a bid in. I think that they can get in because they're 19th. Now, I will say, looking at the record, they're 26-2, right? Real quick, just look at the top 5. The top 5, right? 23-2, 24-2, 24-3, 24-4, and 23-4, right? How's the overall standings? And Murray's got a better record than all those teams.
Yeah. Not sure what the other loss is, but I know they did lose to Auburn earlier this year, and it wasn't a blowout. It was like I think a little bit over 10 points is what they lost to. So looking at that, Murray State, they're tough, and they have a program. They're well coached, and like I said, I could see Murray State messing around and beating one of these teams. I don't know. It'd be a miracle, I think, for Murray State to beat a team like Gonzaga or something. But Murray State versus Texas Tech, Murray State versus Arkansas, Tennessee, I could see it.
I don't have them out against Kansas. I mean, Kansas 23-4, they have a great team, but Kansas has proved that they've got a couple of issues on the ball side for offense. They're not exactly playing great. I want to mention real quick before we transition over to Austin Peay's men's and women's basketball. Michigan head coach Juwan Howard, the smack heard around the court. 5-game suspension.
Yeah.
Only 5 games.
Was it? I thought it was into the season. Was it 5 games?
I've got 5 games from what ESPN report.
Okay.
As of right now, it could have changed.
Yeah.
He could have fought it. But 5 games of the season is what I've seen so far. Stephen A. had a lovely little spat about that.
Bro,
you know.
You just gotta keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's terrible. Like I said, I think it was the season. We'll have to do some more digging up on that.
Yeah.
But, bro, I mean, that's the thing about the example you're setting for your teammates. I mean, it's definitely 100% just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much you punish people. I think as far as being canceled in certain situations like that, like from what he did in that situation, does he deserve to never coach again? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about not coaching again, but definitely a punishment is needed for this. I want to move into men's and women's Austin Peay basketball.
Yeah.
APSU men's currently 7th in the OVC on a 2-game losing streak. Their conference is 6-10 record. They're an overall 10-16 team. Women's is 4th in the OVC conference, 11-5, overall 18-8. So real quick, talk about those 2 teams. Men's basketball's not exactly ended up where we thought it would be. We thought they'd kind of be more of like a top 5 team, kind of more in the hunt for that quarterfinal match, seeding-wise. It doesn't end like that. It looks like they very well could be the last place team or the 6th place team in the seeding, but if they were to stop today, they would be the 7th seed, which means they would play Wednesday against the 6th seed, and that looks to be Tennessee Tech. They split the series against Tennessee Tech.
They just lost Tennessee Tech, but they're close games, so I think Tennessee Tech will be one of those games. We'll see it really close in the postseason. But no, Austin Peay said it is a little disappointing, thinking that they could do better, but I won't count this team out, though. I think that this team is capable of making a run in the postseason with some good energy and some good games. I think they have SIUE coming up in Eastern Illinois to close the season. I say definitely get those wins right there to kind of get some momentum going into the first round. But I don't want to count out this team because I know they have the talent, and I think that it's kind of just really figuring themselves out, testing out some lineups. I mean, I know it's late in the season, but like I said, I'm going to be honest, I don't think they can. If they see Murray State in the championship, I don't think they can beat them. I mean,
I hate to be that guy.
I'm not gonna say what the score was the last time they played them. I don't want to.
It's not like that.
But no, like I mean, if we're being completely honest from a basketball perspective, Austin Peay
Murray's great.
Yeah. So, but I mean, to be able to maybe not meet up with Murray. I don't know what their seeding is looking like, but say they can play a Belmont team, which we've seen that they can kind of go toe to toe with Belmont in certain situations. Say they do that. Maybe they could mess around and do something. That's my prediction for it. If they can see Belmont and not Murray State in the tournament, then we could be cooking with something.
And you mentioned their last 2 opponents being SIUE and Eastern Illinois. The women's team, ironically, 4th right now in the seed. If they were to stay in 4th, which I think is looking like that's going to be the seeding, they're going to go to the quarterfinals, and they will play Thursday, March 3rd against the winner of the 5th and 8th seed, which that would be SIUE and Eastern Illinois as of right now for the women's basketball teams. So interesting to say that because Austin Peay won both those series against both those teams. The Panthers came in, I don't think even made more than 50 points in a game.
Eastern Illinois, SIUS, I think they'll take care of them. But Eastern Illinois is a little,
they have a dogfight in them.
We saw them at home. They have a couple of decent players that could kind of, pose some threats in the postseason. But no, I mean, Austin Peay, they're rolling right now. I think they're winning. They did lose that tough game against Murray State in overtime. But other than that, I mean, Austin Peay's women are looking. They also lost to UT Martin too, which is tough. But other than that, I think they are looking really good, and I think that I see them holding up the plaque or getting the rings, all that. I see them
cutting
doing
the net down.
Yeah, cutting the nets down. Yeah, definitely.
I think they've got a chance to cut the net down. And speaking about, go ahead.
We're gonna be there.
We are gonna be there. Yeah, we are gonna be there. So
WAPX FM, Clarksville's 91.9.
Our next episode is gonna be there too as well in Evansville. Unfortunately, no respread again for that one. But it happens. I quickly moving forward to the next thing. March Madness just around the corner. With that said, I want to play a small little game. Any teams that you think that might be cutting the net by the end of the year, just for men's basketball? We're not looking at women's basketball right now. Just looking at men's basketball. Is there anybody that you think, if I was to pick one team right now out of all the standings, who's that team? Duke.
Coach K ends it well. I mean, he proves that he's one of the best college coaches of all time, and he gets it done. But it's him and his players gets it done, and they win.
I've got 2.
Okay.
And both of them are completely off the wall underdogs. Obviously, I think Arkansas has a good chance to make it in the top 8.
Yeah.
They snuck in a few years back. They're not a bad team. They're well coached, and they can play really well together. They just beat Auburn, number 3 Auburn, which originally Auburn I think was number 1 at the time when they beat Auburn, or number 2, something like that.
Respect.
So it's a great thing. The other team, Murray State. I want to mention Murray. Murray's record, once again, 26-2, the highest record in college basketball right now, or one of the higher ones.
The thing about Murray, I think they can get some wins.
Yeah.
But I've seen them in closer games against teams such as Morehead State, and I believe it was another team. I can't recall it right now. I can look it up. But Murray State, I think they have been having good blowout games in the LBC, but they've had some close ones as well. So I don't know if Murray State has what it takes to make it all the way. But I could see it Sweet 16.
Wouldn't it be great, though, if they made it to, the Final Four?
It'd be terrible. I mean, as an Austin Peay fan, it'd be
terrible.
terrible.
I know. As an Austin Peay fan,
it'd be nice to see. I mean, because do you remember John Morant's year?
Yeah, I was here. I was here for that year.
They won 2, right? I think I don't know if they went to 32 because they won that first game.
They went to 32. I'm not sure if they went to.
I don't think they went to 16.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they went to 16, but I know they went to 32.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, realistic pick. If I had to do a realistic pick, I like Gonzaga and I like Kentucky. I think both those teams are coached really well too.
Yeah.
But I want Coach K to get his last one. I mean, to be honest, Duke would be great. Oh yeah, Auburn would be good too.
I would like to see Auburn.
Yeah. Somebody new.
Yeah,
somebody new. We've seen a few, Kentucky Gonzaga's years, a few Duke years.
I don't want Villanova to win it.
I don't want Villanova to win it either. I don't think Texas Tech or Baylor deserves it either, to be honest. But that's just me. Moving on into the NBA standings real quick. East, Miami's up in first, second Chicago. You got Philly in third, Cleveland in fourth, Milwaukee Bucks in fifth, and Boston in sixth. In the West, you've got Phoenix in first, Golden State second, Memphis in third, Utah fourth, Dallas in fifth, and Denver in sixth. Not a lot of changes, obviously. All-Star Weekend just happened, so nobody's moving right now, or nobody really is moving. We did see Dallas fall a spot. They fell out of the top 3, or actually out of the 4th spot. They're in 5th right now. Not a lot to cover for that, honestly.
I mean, looking at it, I'm excited to see. Noticing that East Side, a team that's not a team that's not in there is Brooklyn. Brooklyn is not doing very well right now.
No,
but I love to see what they're gonna do. Oh, also, James Harden. It did come out that he should be playing this Friday, so that'll be interesting to see Harden with the 76ers. I want to turn in and see a pick and roll between Harden and Embiid and see how Embiid is gonna guard that. I just want to know how that's gonna be guarded and what teams are gonna do to that.
Right. It's going to be fun to see that. I want to mention the playoff bracket. ESPN announced this today. They showed their new playoff bracket out.
Yeah.
So what it'll be is the top 6 teams will be locked into a playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
9 and 10 will play each other, and 7 and 8 will play each other.
Yeah.
The winner of 9 and 10 and the loser of 7 and 8 will play each other for the 8th seed. The winner of the 7 and 8 seed will go to the 7th seed.
Yep.
So right now, if playoffs were to end for the East. For the West, the Lakers would have the 9th seed, the Trailblazers would have the 10th, Timberwolves would have the 7th, and the Clippers would have the 8th seed. Right, those are your outside of 6 in right now. If that was the case, I think the Lakers beat the Trailblazers. I think the Clippers beat the Timberwolves, and I think the Lakers beat the Timberwolves again. I don't think number 7 makes it. I think I just think that LeBron in the playoffs, it's hard to bet against him.
Yeah.
In the East, you got the Hornets, Hawks, Raptors, and Nets all on the outside. I think the Nets, if they can get their trade stuff settled really quickly.
They won't even be in that group.
You don't think so?
I don't think the Nets, when they get their stuff together, I don't think they're going to be, because the East is very tight right now. And I think it'll look a lot different here after this All-Star break. So I don't even think the Nets end up in the playoff
that brings us to my next quick little game real fast. Will they make it? Just looking at the standings and everything, I think if we're talking about will they make it to the top 8 and make it past all this, you're saying the Nets won't. How about the Raptors?
The Nets won't what?
Won't make it.
No, they will make it.
Oh, you think the Nets will make it?
The Nets won't. I'm saying they won't even be in the playing games.
They'll
be top 6.
Okay.
I think they won't have to worry about
That's what. Okay.
The Raptors? Nah, I don't think.
You don't think the Raptors are going to make it? How about the Hornets or the Hawks?
Hornets or the Hawks?
Yeah.
That's tough. Gordon Hayward went out, and I think he's done for the year. So that definitely hurts.
Then out of the East, on the top 6 teams, which are the Heat, Cavs, Bucks, Sixers, Celtics, and Bulls, who's coming out of that to be replaced by the Nets?
Oh, who's coming? Oh, wait, say the list again
so
for me.
So it's Heat, Cavs, Bucks, Sixers, Celtics, and Bulls. Celtics? Yeah, I agree with you, man. I just don't think – I mean, Boston's got a good team, don't get me wrong. They're coached pretty well.
Yeah.
But the issue is I just don't think that they have the longevity and the depth on their depth chart to remain where they need to be at.
Yeah.
With Brooklyn making the trades they were making, they balanced out their team really well.
Yeah.
And so I just think that Brooklyn goes in. For the West, your top 6 are Suns, Jazz, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Nuggets, and Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And your 4 are Lakers, Trailblazers, Timberwolves, and Clippers. I think the Lakers will creep into the top 6.
No way LeBron doesn't make the playoffs.
I don't think the Nuggets are going to – I think the Nuggets got to do a play-in. I don't think the Nuggets are going to stay. I think they're getting people back. Don't get me wrong. They're getting a lot of people back.
Dallas is sus.
Yeah, and Mavericks are having an issue too.
Yeah,
I mean,
think they might drop down before the Nuggets
Your 5 and 6 seeds are definitely having issues right now, for sure. Want to move into some NBA news?
Yeah.
Former Pelicans teammate J.J. Redick calls out Zion Williamson for not being a better teammate.
No.
What do you think about that?
What he did with Zion, it was a big report. C.J. McCollum got traded to the Pelicans from the Trailblazers, And it was a report that came out that CJ had not heard anything from Zion since he was there. And he's been here for like 2-3 weeks, something like that.
He's been there
Hasn't heard anything from Zion. And you talk about Zion, man, he's,
I think Zion's doing everything he can to push himself out of New Orleans.
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd like to see updated pictures of Zion, too. I haven't seen
Dude, he's massive.
No, I don't know if he's – I'm assuming he's lost some weight because it's been a minute since those pictures have come out, and I would assume he hasn't gotten bigger.
I think the last time I saw anything was a video shot of him, and he looked like he hadn't lost a single pound. He looked like he was still pretty Shaq-tastic, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Where is he? He's in New Orleans, man. I don't – too much jumbo?
Maybe.
If you're in New Orleans, real quick, I know it's a sidebar question, but what do you think Zion's eating the most of in New Orleans? Like, what is it, the food? Like, is it too much seafood? Like, what is it? Is it the beignets? It might be the beignets.
It might be the beignets. I was going to say them crawfish boils are real good.
I don't know, but yeah, no. I like Zion. I loved him at Duke. I loved him in high school. Like, I would really.
He was great,
bro. I just don't want to see him become another Greg Oden. No disrespect to Greg Oden, but to be that guy that was, he's gonna do this, and then just to be a bust. I mean,
he's not been a bad player. Averaging about 21 points per game when he's on the court.
Nice.
Averaging probably like 7 assists. I think he's got about 5 or 6 rebounds. He's averaging normal numbers. Yeah. Not bad. Injuries are a problem.
Yeah.
Weight's a problem. Yeah. And playing with your team's a big problem. In the NBA, you've got to be a team player. I mean, unless you want to be one of the guys that doesn't want to be drafted in the All-Star game.
Maybe he needs to go to maybe he's trying to get to the Knicks. RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish, his former Duke teammates over there.
That'd be really fun though. Yeah. Him and RJ Barrett back again.
Coach K leaves Duke and goes coach for the Knicks. I don't know.
Hey, there has been speculation of whether Coach K will go somewhere else or whether he'll just retire.
I think he's done.
I think he's retiring. I don't think he's going to the NBA.
I think he's retiring from Team USA as well. I think Coach Steve Kerr is going to become the new head coach. So I think he might just be done with coaching. But I did hear really quick. I think he still wants to become a part of the Duke program, and he's going to kind of have a hand in the coaching a little bit.
Which is there's nothing wrong with that. You expect that because he's been there so long. It's hard not to say yes to that. Moving next on to NBA All-Star Weekend recap. It's the 75th NBA season of all time. It's the 71st All-Star game. LeBron's team won 163 to Durant's team of 160. Makes LeBron James undefeated in the All-Star game itself. Obviously, it was NBA. It was the All-Star weekend, so there was a lot of stuff that happened. Curry wins All-Star MVP after 50 points, 16-27 from the three-point line. Joel Embiid led Team Durant with 36 points. Devin Booker added 20 points, and LaMelo Ball had 18 for Team Durant. So not a bad showing, but you've got more on this about the dunk contest and everything else.
First off, my favorite player in the NBA, favorite player of all time, Steph Curry. Mr. 50 ball. Mr.
Awesome.
Half court, whatever you want to call him, the best shooter of all time. Have to shout that out really quick. But no. The NBA Funk Contest, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was bad, and people know it. I think the players know it. Like Cole Anthony, he had one dunk where he dunked in Tim's. But he even came out. He tweeted out, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm done dunking layups for the rest of the year, y'all. I'm sorry," because he knew. I mean, it was a terrible dunk contest. A lot of missed dunks.
Yeah,
a lot of bad stuff.
Not a lot of stuff.
They're bringing up ideas too, as far as maybe trying to switch it up and bring non-NBA players and dunkers, because there's dunkers out. There's dunkers in these streets. What they're talking about. I mean, you think of maybe a regional thing. Get some dunkers from LA, Chicago, down south, New York.
Yeah.
Do a little tournament, and then the top 4, top 5, or whatever, go meet at NBA All-Star
Could you imagine
weekend.
being a street baller and getting an invite to the dunk contest, and then having a chance to maybe even play in the league after showing off your dunk skills?
Maybe.
I mean, that would be awesome.
And this year, I mean, it's the 2022. This generation is about social media. Imagine just being able to get that look, just be able to be on the NBA, and how many followers you would get, how much more money you can make out of that. So no, definitely, I like that. Or start forcing some of these players to be in the dunk contest. I don't think they're allowed to do that, but I mean, Ja Morant should be in this dunk contest. We talked about him, before the show, how he was asked about it, and he was like, a reporter asked him, like, what would it take for you to be in the dunk contest? He said, it wouldn't take anything. I would do it if I wanted to. And he's like, raise the rim. And I was like, man, Ja Morant needs to be in this dunk contest. It's frustrating.
Morant wants the rim raised because he just keeps jumping over it.
Yeah.
The man clears that thing by 40 feet. Yeah. It's insane. Want to talk, I guess, you got anything else for my NBA All-Star Weekend?
NBA All-Star Weekend, it was fun. The All-Star game was really great. It was. The LeBron game winner. I really like the Rising Stars Challenge they did, too, how they changed it up and toward like a tournament style.
Yeah.
How they're doing. I really like that. Three-point contest is a three-point contest. I mean, nothing really special about that. I mean, it was more fun to the dunk contest than me. It was disappointing. We saw greats. We saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar walk out during the dunk contest. We saw Jordan.
Jordan was there.
You remember Shaq? Shaq, the old dunk contest where Shaq kind of pulled out the phone. He was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you saw Shaq where Shaq literally looked like this. He was just during the dunk contest. I mean, it's different dunk contest. It's a different
It
era.
is.
Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon ruined the dunk contest because they were too good, and I will never get anything better than that. Unless they bring non-NBA players out.
I think they've got to find a way to definitely to revitalize it. Another scenario of an all-star game or all-star weekend having issues. The NFL had issues with theirs. Obviously, NFL's was they were blaming injuries. They didn't want to get hurt more and more.
Yeah.
You know, all that type of stuff. NBA's having issues with just keeping up with the talent that they've had in the past. I mean, as you said, this dunk contest was nowhere near the Zach LaVine esque level of what we've seen. I want to move into now NFL news.
Yeah.
We've talked about Brian Flores a few times here. We thought that he might not get another coaching job. He did get hired as a senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good job, Flores. You know, great. We're happy for you.
Coaches the Steelers
That's
again?
Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin.
What is he? One of the entire league?
He's one of two of the entirety of.
I mean, it's a good
cultural
look.
coaches.
It's basically looking out for your brother. I mean, that's
that's
what it is. It's
sure.
nice. It's nice to see him. You know, it sucks. You know, he has to kind of go back down because he was a linebackers coach.
Yeah.
Then got propelled to a head coach. Now he's back down at that linebacker coach position. But it's still nice for Brian Flores to be able to be involved in a league. Hopefully, maybe he can make the Steelers better too.
Yeah.
And then that makes his stock look a little better to kind of become a head coach again.
It doesn't fix the league's problem with having minority coaches not get the jobs when predominantly your players are of minority players.
Look
so
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Who did he hire for one of his players? His son,
dude,
right?
Yeah, he hired his son.
So
yeah,
I mean,
if
they're going to do that,
nepotism.
if they're going to do that, then I mean,
you.
like I said, Coach Tom's looking out for his own in a sense. I mean, that's how I look at it.
And I like that. I do. I think it's great. I think the biggest thing for me, Flores did not sign a coaching agreement or did not sign his severance agreement, which allows him to be able to still do this lawsuit. He also dumps out millions and millions of dollars left on the table. Excuse me. He leaves millions and millions of dollars left on the table. That's not great, but he's doing it for principle. He's doing it for the fact of it is that he knew that he should have been given a longer chance in Miami. The program was winning when he left, and he should be a head coach somewhere. To be honest, Flores deserves a head coaching job. Rumor mill is they're talking about extending Roger Goodell. Want to mention that real quick. If that is, Goodell will be the oldest NFL commissioner to date, being 69 years old, I think, at the time of extension. I think would put him in his 70s if that happens. I want to move over to XFL. The XFL is to be a petri dish or testing ground. This is what ESPN reported it as. For NFL refs, new rules, new fields, and equipment. Year-long football is just now around the corner because XFL does return in 2023, but they're not trying to be a minors for the NFL. They want to be their own spring league. I want to talk about this a little bit. Acquisition from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his daughter and a bunch of other people was bought real quick. They had done a partnership with the Canadian Football League, it looked like. Now we're hearing the XFL is going to do a partnership with the NFL.
Love it.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think that you can't say they're not going to be the minors of the NFL when you kind of already are. You already had, a bunch of your first-string guys get into the NFL. One of them started as a quarterback for, I think, Washington. I think Heineke came from the XFL, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah.
I know there was a guy in Carolina for the Carolina Panthers that was playing for the XFL. He ended up getting a couple games to start as well, thanks to the injury to Sam Darnold. So interesting to say, hey, we're not going to be, minor league, but we still want to do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love it. The main thing I like on that, which what we talk about with the partnership, is the referees. They get some extra practice.
Oh, dude.
God knows they need them. Training,
and
I like the new rules experience, too. Yeah. Maybe this is where they bring in the new overtime rules to see how those work in the XFL.
That would be good.
See, because, it seems like people don't like these overtime rules. So
the NFL needs help with that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, y'all knew how I feel about the overtime rules. Defense wins championships. So
They do.
But, no, I mean, I love it. I love the corporation. I love it for Rock and his daughter too, to be able to kind of use their likeness a little bit to kind of push up the XFL, because now you're getting more opportunities for players. Like it's gonna work for everybody, I think.
And we found out too that the prelude of this was after The Rock did his lovely announcement in LA.
Yeah,
that was their prelude of the XFL joining the NFL. That was later leaked that was his time of talking to Goodell and everybody and kind of iron out the rest of this. I think it's a great fit. obviously football has kind of become, as you and I were debating America's pastime before the show, football is considered more, I guess, of America's pastime now.
So you agree?
I'm going to agree with you.
Football is America's pastime.
I can't say baseball anymore because we're going to get to baseball news now, and you and I are going to talk about this a lot. Not even close to making a deal or stopping the strike. A legitimate fear among owners as more baseball stadiums are booking concerts to ensure income for the workers and for their stadium. The two sides met for the longest time on Monday for 5 hours since the lockout began. The league is making small chances to the proposal, but it does not seem like any side is reaching any middle ground to get the Major League Baseball back on track. On the start time, the unofficial start time that they wanted was February 28th. It does not look like it's going to happen now. I've got a list here of the things they're trying to do, but I want to talk about it real quick. They want to raise the bonus pool for their arbitration players to $20 million. MLB previously offered $15 million to the top 30 players. The MLB PA is seeking $115 million bonus pool to split among the top 150 players. So that's interesting. They want to try to do a draft lottery for the top 8 picks. PA wants top 8 picks. MLB only is allowing 4 picks right now. I think it should go to 8. I think that's a great idea. You've got a lot of teams like the Orioles, the Rangers, and a couple other teams that I probably could pull out that are not doing so great. They don't have great money-wise already, so they already can't get players. So a lottery would help, but also would hurt those teams because it's top 8, so you never really know what player you're going to get.
Yeah.
No change to the previous luxury tax proposal. The PA is seeking a raise of the threshold from $210 to $245. That's a big thing, and rescinded their request to control total number of minor league teams as well to offer their limit. I think overall, PA's not asking for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're making reasonable requests. I think it's the ownership that doesn't want to let it go.
Looking at it too, looking at the MLB, people are talking about it. MLB stands for Major League Baseball, of course, but in this situation, it's millionaires alongside billionaires is what people are liking to call it, and that's basically what it is. Just it's money. Some people are calling it greed, whichever side that is that it's on. But I think it's really looking at the other perspective from like a fan. It's hurting it. Seeing fans out here, they want this to start on opening day. We've already been dealing with COVID issues and all that, so now you get a chance to see an opening day start, and for that to be altered, it's frustrating for a fan. I mean, you're looking at it too. Free agency, that is something that's that's on pause right now. We were just talking about Freddie Freeman with the Braves. Like, what if this were to stop Freddie Freeman in front of the Braves? Like, because it messes with things.
Braves
as far as
fans, the whole city of Atlanta would riot.
Yeah,
the whole city. You're not gonna let it. It's like they're players since Chipper. They're one of their better players since Chipper. So it's interesting to see that happen. What I want to standpoint on this is there's no cap room. There's no cap hit. There's no cap casualty or anything like that. The comparing teams, I always will talk about the Orioles first just because they are one of the better teams and their income isn't that great anyways. Compare them to the Yankees who can buy a player for $50 million right off the bat. The O's can't do that. So some more neutrality needs to happen within the MLB. There are a lot of players in general within the league, but teams have issues getting some of those players to be better and be the caliber player they're looking for.
Yeah.
Pace of play is a problem. That's one of the reasons why fan base is leaving a lot of the times. The pace of play is a big problem for Major League Baseball. 9 innings is not a lot of people want to sit through 9 innings, especially double headers. They tried this 7-inning double header thing. It didn't really work. They tried extra innings, putting a man on second. Fans were mixed about that as well. They tried limiting how long you can substitute a pitcher in and out. Fans didn't like that. So it's coming down to, do we fix the pace of play issues, or do we make all our fans happy, or do we make our players happy?
At this rate, we talk about it being America's pastime and how it's such a classic.
Right.
I don't think you can change the classic. I mean, I understand evolving and all that, but baseball is baseball. And I think you keep what you're doing, and you just try to prevent situations like these. Forget what's happening on the field. Let's talk about what's happening, right now amongst the players and the billionaires, should I say, the owners.
Yeah, I mean, and you're absolutely right. At this point in time, the baseball's just got to kind of figure it out. They're projected to start April 1st. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be April Fools for all of us fans because it looks like it's not going to happen. But I want to thank you for taking time out of your day, as always, for doing this. I want to thank everybody in the studios here live at WAPX-FM, live here from Austin Peay, State University. Thank you to Steve Sawyer, Joanne, Jay, Wicks, all of you guys for running the show today. And we'll see you next time on Crunch Time live at Evansville, Indiana next week for the OVC tournament. It's been Crunch Time, and we'll see you next time.